Hey, Wimborne World Entertainment and Spider-Man Brand New Day is here, and this will be the non-spoiler review because, my good God, there is a hell of a lot to spoil in this movie. It's going to actually be hard to discuss this movie in the non-spoiler because the main plot of it is a massive spoiler. We'll do our best. I will do another video that will be spoilers, which either come out later today or maybe tomorrow or maybe even Sunday. I'll decide because, yeah, a lot of people seem to be spoiling it already, which is kind of unfair. The one thing to take away from this movie, though, is it is long. So, I'm recording this now just after 3 o'clock. I went to the 20 past 11 a.m. showing, and I walked out of the theatre at exactly 3 minutes past 2 p.m. I was like, God damn, I didn't realize it was that long. Yeah, it's long, and unfortunately it feels that long in places. Overall, I enjoyed the movie. It has, though, massive issues, and I do mean massive issues. It sets up a lot of things that are kind of problematic going forward, which we'll get into in the spoiler stuff. Now, a lot of people, I have seen some reviews saying it is very overstuffed and overbloated and stuff. I see what they mean, but at the same time, it's not. If you're thinking it's going to be overbloated with the villains and stuff like Scorpion and Tarantula and all that stuff, no. The likes of Tarantula and Boomerang and Tombstone are literally motion posters for this movie. That's essentially what they are. What you see in the trailer, where it's just kind of very slow motion moving past those characters, that's their scenes. It's literally like they put them in there so they could do the comic book covers, kind of the nod to it, and then use them as posters and in the trailer, because that's literally all it is. So, don't get your hopes up to see a lot of Boomerang or Tarantula or anything like that. You don't. Scorpion has the most amount, but it's for a specific reason. Again, spoiler section will do that. Whereas Tombstone is the only other one who has a tiny bit of dialogue, and yeah, they pretty much waste them. The good stuff, I'll dive into that. Oh, by the way, I may as well say it in this one as well. Just straight up, post-credit scene, there's one, and it is post-credit scene. Right? It's at the stage where you think, oh, there mustn't be anything here, and there is. I may as well tell you what it is, because it's not a spoiler. It's not even worth sitting around for. In the movie, you'll see that Ned came up with a spider tracker. It's an app, and it looks like it's off an Atari, or Commodore 64 or something. It's that type of weird graphic. And the post-credit scene, if you want to stick around and watch it, you've paid your money, stick around and wait for it. It doesn't actually take that long to get to it, actually, surprisingly. I thought these credits would have been longer, and they weren't as long as I was expecting them to be. But it's literally you just see the video of the tracker, and it just says Spider-Man or Spider-Person detected, unknown location, and then it just zooms out and it goes out of the world and says unknown location, and then it moves away from the... And remember, this is all like a little video game, 16-bit video game style you're looking at, and it moves out into space, and then the little Spider-Man symbol pops up and it goes, Spider-Man detected. And it's a very put together throw in at the last minute scene. That's what that really was. And it was clearly their last minute ditched effort to try and set up something for Doomsday, because this movie was meant to be in between the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, if you remember. So that's all it is. So it also makes no sense. It's like, why is it moving off of Earth and out into space? It's in a different universe, like a multiverse. Like, Why would it detect it out in space? Either way, that's all the post-credit scene is. So it's really not worth your time sitting around waiting for it. But again, if you want to see it, you'd sit around. But that's what it is. Again, it's not a spoiler. Adds nothing to this movie. Doesn't take anything away from the movie. Overall, the action is great. There's a lot of emotional beats in it that are great and really work as well. Again, I can't really discuss the story overall of this. Something's happening where he's trying to figure out where certain people are and stuff like that. It's 5 years removed from the previous movie. Now, this is where I think they do settle problems. He's 5 years as Spider-Man on his own. And he's been given the key to the city and all this. And it specifically says, like, he has been the savior of New York for 5 years. That crime rates have plummeted since Spider-Man has, like, gone full-time and all this type of stuff. And that's an issue when it comes to Daredevil, Born Again. Because you're watching those two seasons that came out and you're like, well, where the hell is Spider-Man? And if they ignored Spider-Man and Kingpin and stuff was able to get away with all the stuff he was getting away with in that show, to then go into this movie and hear crime rates have plummeted, there's no mention of Daredevil or Kingpin in this. So they're not saying like, oh, he stopped Kingpin and his henchmen and removed him from being mayor or anything like that. No, none of that is in there. So I think that sets up a massive issue, because now you've established Spider-Man has been patrolling New York and has been very much getting every villain out of New York. And yet, Daredevil was able to do things like with Kingpin and stuff without him. And now you're going to get a third season of Daredevil Born Again. And you're not going to get Spider-Man. So I think that sets up too much of an issue that I think they either ignored, completely forgot, or just didn't think about it at all. And I think that's a massive mistake. The Hand, quite pointless, to be honest with you. Good action scene for that moment, but there's a reason they're there. It's not the reason you think, but all the rest. The Hulk, Bruce Banner, pointless. He's actually pointless to be in this movie. There's a reason he's in here like this, but the idea of the Hulk and stuff, it was kind of like they just wanted to put him in there for the sake of putting him in there. And I think the Hulk-wise was wasted. All the stuff with Hulk he's much like Scorpion and the other guys. All his stuff is in the trailer, like all of it. There's pretty much nothing you haven't seen from their interaction that's not in the trailer, which is unfortunate as well. Now, one big issue is Peter, and is he on his own this time? Is he actually doing things on his own? Yes and no. The issue is he's with a cop all the time. He's constantly on the phone to her. Now, this character is from the comic books. The Wolf is her name. And in the comic book, she's just a single white woman, no kids or anything like that. Of course, they've race swapped her. I believe she's a redhead in the comics. She's now a black woman with 2 kids. Okay. But it's this interactions that they keep, which I think causes problems, because it's her constantly giving him prep talks like, hey, you're doing great and all this stuff, but you need to take a break. And they keep getting, every time he's on the phone to her, they keep getting signals, hey, bank robbery here and stuff like that. This scene, like the way this moves in slow motion, that's all you see of this scene. Seriously, that's all you see. I actually didn't even notice in the movie Boomerang Down Below. I was distracted by watching one of the things come spinning up here. But he's always on the phone to her. But then the other issue is he's basically become a Tony Stark. So the way the last movie ended, where he got his own apartment, it's a crappy little apartment, but it's all he can afford, and he's stitching together his own suit. Now the suit has technology in it, like a Jarvis. Now, it doesn't it's not armored or anything like that, but in his eyes parts, there's like scanners and stuff. And he basically has a computer system set up that's like Jarvis. I can't remember what he calls it. It's a girl voice. But he's also got like all these computers, all this super tech, and this like super tech 3D printer that can print anything and make anything. So that's very unfortunate that they undone how he ended in the last movie. And that is my biggest issue with this movie, really, is that it really does undo how the other movie ended. Like with MJ and Ned, it's not as much of them in the beginning anyway as I was expecting there to be. It's the problem is when he's watching them on the phone, there's a reason he's watching them on the phone, and that kind of end up makes sense. It didn't in the trailer. I thought, oh, is he just going to be piney and whiny for, and he kind of is a little bit, but it makes sense that he's watching them on the phone. But it's when he starts actually re-interacting with them, it not just does it undo the purpose of him walking away from them in the last movie, but it slows the movie down. The movie slows to an absolute crawl every time they go to them. And that's another issue. There are moments where the movie kind of stops, which is really weird. Now, the one thing you'll hear people saying is there is like 2 movies in this. There really is. And this will suffer from what the Batman suffered from, where you can see a point where the movie should have ended and it would have been a great point to end, but it keeps going. And that happens in this very much so. It keeps going. So, again, though, the good stuff, the performances are pretty good. Zendaya, however you want to pronounce it, like her one facial expression carries her throughout the movie again. Sadie Sink is decent enough in it. There's not actually a hell of a lot of her. Not throughout the movie. When that kind of second movie starts, there's a fair bit of her. Tom Holland is great anyway in it, the role. You know, when he's in the suit, he very much becomes Spider-Man. He's all like, hey, how's it going? As soon as the suit comes off, he's very much kind of retracting back into himself and realizing there's problems and how do I deal with them and stuff like that. Yes, Yelena is in here. The worst scene in the movie. She's in 2 scenes, so you know, 2 scenes. Yeah, she's annoying. She really is. And her scenes are pointless. You could remove her, nothing changes. John Bernthal as Punisher. Again, it's weird because it feels like there's not as much as these people in the movie as there actually is. But later in the movie, there's a lot of them. The beginning of the movie, not so much. But he is a very neutered Punisher. Now, obviously, they can't have him dropping F-bombs, so he says shit a lot. So he's like, yeah, I got that shit. Yeah, no shit. Oh, over there, that's bullshit and stuff like that. As opposed to just dropping F-bombs and stuff like that. But he's decent. You know, there is a couple of issues with him, which happens later. But overall, he was good as well. But again, I think after seeing him in his own show, seeing him in Born Again and stuff, he's very neutered and it sticks out like a sore thumb, really. But overall, again though, there's a lot to enjoy. It doesn't sound like it, does it? But there actually is. Like, again, the action and the point of views of the action are great. The emotional beats really do work for the most part. There's a good conversation between Peter and Frank, which I think really worked. There's actually a good moment between Sadie Sink and someone that really worked as well. However, there's an issue with that. But again, that'll be in spoilers. So, overall, I think a lot of people will enjoy it. But it is a movie that does have issues. And I think the biggest issue is it's too long. I think that'll be for like especially normies, I think that's the one takeaway they will walk away from it is it's a bit too long. It's like that's where it should have ended and it didn't. It kept going. So overall, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. I think that's fair for what it is, because again, when it slows down and stuff, it slows down and stuff, and I think there's a few things that are just kind of problematic, but that's it for the non-spoiler review. So again, I will do a spoiler review, whether it's up today, tomorrow, Sunday, whenever, I'll get it up. But if you've seen the movie, let us know, and don't put spoilers in the non-spoiler section if you have. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.